Well, it's nice to welcome you again on Talking Technical. But we welcome you with a sad note. Dr. Clive Roffey passed away, and it is not nice. He was known as a brilliant technical analyst in South Africa, and we worked for many years on the media. Me and him, I'm mostly on the Afrikaans side, he on the English side, and both of us filled each other in nicely. And it's a sad scene to see him leaving the market and even leaving the media world. Well, I'm sure he's at a better place now, and we hope that we can carry on with the good work that he established in South Africa. Well, let's kick off. We've got quite a few requests today, and let's see if we can maybe help some viewers. And I'm looking at the weekly chart of JP Morgan, and Peter said, Peter, he say, Frans, I think my money needs to go to the overseas markets now. I'm looking to buy. And well, Peter, let's have a look here. If I look at this chart, and remember this is a weekly chart, what's interesting is that we are seeing some higher lows here, and I want to use this so that you can just see that. Peter, a higher low chart is always symptomatic of guys waiting for a little bit of a tiny pullback, and then they buy the market. Now, if we look at it, you can see when JP Morgan Chase starts to go, people climb in with a vengeance. Now, look at what happened. In March, it was around 83 Rand, or $83, and it spiked up all the way to about 100. Then it came back, and it came back to 85, and then it spiked up to 112. And the other week or two, well, the 29th of June, that's about a month from now, it came back to 92. This spike wasn't that severe. So if you want to buy, Peter, I will say maybe wait for this support line to get tested again. And then if it gets tested, it will probably get tested around the 92 level. Then make use of a stop loss of 85.40. So then you know that's your stop loss. And if it then goes above 98.20, you know that you've got some nice higher lows and then a nice higher high from there. As you say, this chart starts to look appealing. And after this massive sell-off, at least we haven't yet turned to touch this low point at around 82. Now that is positive. Just keep in mind, and you will see a lot of the charts that we're showing today has the same theme. We had a market that rallied a lot. And be careful, the market can maybe just surprise you on a pullback and maybe test, I don't think these lows maybe test these support lines. So stick to your stop loss if you phase yourself in, and if you do take a stop loss, take note of that. And if you don't take a stop loss, always keep in your mind that a company can go under. And we've seen now companies like Into Properties, brilliant companies with brilliant stories, they went under, they are suspended. So don't think that a share cannot go under. Well, let's have a look at Pacific. Now, Stoffel asked about it. He say he wants to pump in some money there, and he believes that this company, I just want to say Pacific, just want to make sure that I don't have the wrong one there. There you are. He said Pacific Drilling in New York. Now, he wants to pump in his money there. And, well, Stoffel, I look at this chart. Let's just have a look here. This chart is almost rock bottom. Now, remember, this is a drilling company, and it's important to take note of it. When you start talking and you say the word drilling, exploration, you must be careful because you never know if they're going to strike gold or not. Let's have a look here. Well, we've got a share in South Africa now with the name of Self Deep, and they're performing beautifully now. But for years, when they were still exploring that mine and busy fixing it up, old Self Deep complex, that mine, when it was out of the goldfields, and at the moment it's Goldfields South Africa, that Self Deep mine took many years before it came in production. So if you look at this chart, Stoffel, remember there's a massive consolidation here, and I will only look at this chart when it breaks above 80 American dollars, 80 cents American dollars. 80 American cents. So if you look at it, if it breaks above 80, yes, you can look at it, but keep your stop loss at 35 American cents, and that is just to play safe. I mean, if this chart turns around, Stoffel, you can see a beautiful rally. You can see all the way up to 144, and maybe even, the next one is 194. It almost makes me think about Jubilee. For Jubilee in South Africa, the chart struggled for many years, and when it really started going, it just shot through the roof. Another one was Durban Roodepoort. So yes, if the charts with a big consolidation, we usually call it a Nicolas Darvas model, if a chart with that sort of consolidation starts to get going, it usually surprises you to the top. Let's have a look at Bristol Myers. And I know a lot of viewers, they're looking now at shares that can develop vaccines and that they can sort the world out with the COVID issue. And if I look at this chart, look what we see. We've seen this ugly sell-off in March. It bounced up and it's almost working its way now. And I'm seeing an inverse head and shoulder here. Let's have a look. There you are. And we're busy now with the right shoulder. There we can see, there's the left shoulder. There's the massive head. I just want to draw that neckline incorrectly. There you are. There's the touch of the neckline. And now we're busy working on the right shoulder. Now, if you look at this chart, let's just say where it can go and where it will trigger. First of all, there's your trigger if it breaks up, Nelson. And then on the other hand, there's the conservative target. I always give a conservative target and a completion target if it reaches its formation. Well, we're busy with the right shoulder. Now the neckline sits at 62.76. If it breaks above 62.76, we can see this first move up all the way to 68.78. And then if it reaches its full potential, it can maybe head even as high as 77.10. Where's our stop loss? Our stop loss is here at the bottom end of the right shoulder. The stop loss will be at $55.9. So Bristol Myers, let's see if they can produce a vaccine. The world is sitting on the edge of their chairs and we see maybe we can see it. Another share, and also Barack asked about it, and I'm sure it's not Mr. Barack Obama because I think he's got enough money to maybe buy a stock exchange, maybe the South African stock exchange. But Barack asked me about Gilead. And Gilead, well, this is strange enough the opposite of what we've seen now with Bristol Myers. And I'm seeing a head and shoulder. That one was an inverse head and shoulder. And suddenly I'm identifying a head and shoulder formation here. Let's have a look here. There you are. And remember, these guys also mentioned a few times that they're busy testing. And they think that they've sorted the problem. Very interesting. Well, here we are. We're sitting with the left shoulder. There's the left shoulder. There's the head. And we're busy working on numerous right shoulders. Well, let's have a look here. First of all, there's the target. If the head and shoulder plays out to the bottom. And conservative target if it really gets going. But where's the neckline? We're sitting exactly on the neckline. And that is at $73.73. If it breaks below that, we can see this initial target, the conservative target, take the share down to 69.18. And on the other hand, if it plays out in the full, it can go all the way down to 64.43. This is quite interesting because you should actually say that with all the rumors around, you should see that a share like Gilead attracts a lot of buyers. And in this case, it doesn't look like it. But remember, it's a weekly chart, it's a line chart, and therefore we decide usually on a Friday afternoon if we need to take action or not. Let's have a look at the wonder child, Uber. Now, Uber is one of those shares that the world also love, and the theme is just technology, technology, technology. Everybody is just so keen on technology. Well, if I look at this, there was the high, $46. There's another high of 39. There's another one of 36. So, and who asked about it? Knowles. Knowles said he is keen looking at Uber. Now, look at this slope here. This resistance line tells you that the momentum is to the downside. And the other thing, Knowles, I'm looking at this level. Although you're keen on buying it, I'm looking at this level. And this level is sitting at 29.43. And remember, this downslope tells me one thing. There were some sellers at the top. There were some sellers around there when it reached that resistance. And again, and every time it was a little bit lower. And remember, since March, we had this massive rally in all the technology stocks, and everybody just ran into them. And this share is starting to struggle. So be careful below the support line. I will only get positive if the share can break or turn this resistance line into a support. And that will be above 35.85. Above 35.85, the tune will change and then we can go up. And as somebody always said about technical analysis, they said it's either a right or a wrong. That's quite true with charts. You either right if it goes up and immediately below this line, you change your tune and say, I'm wrong. With a fundamental analyst, it's just exactly the same. They believe that there's going to be maybe good results, and when the results come out and they are disappointed, it's a wrong. If they're right and they're happy, it's a right, and then they can go higher. Well, let's have a look at the last one, and that is AbbVie. Now this is a food company, and it's also listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And who's asked? Oh, Wilson asked about it. Wilson, big story here, rallied from March from 68 to 96. It's starting to show a little bit of weakness, and I'm seeing a support line here being tested. There's the line, and remember this is a weekly chart. If it breaks below 96.75, unfortunately I'm a little bit negative. I will not chase it unless if you chase it above 101, use the stop loss of 96.41, and then it can go up. This Lampel formation worries me, and remember the stock had an enormous rally, almost a 50% bounce. That's a lot. Well, this is the end of this show. Visit our website www.fransdeclerc.com for all our services, and we in love to show you some charts. Thank you so much.